Now let's take a look at what's happening in the US with a little segment we like to call Stars and Gripes. And joining me is Power Hour host Gabriella Power. Welcome, Gab. Let's start with Barack Obama, who is, despite the litany of examples of left-wing bias, the former president is still defending the mainstream media as the best place for facts. Take a look.
Is there one outlet out there that you would consider the least bias, sort of the most straight news?
I actually think that the mainstream news still does a very good job of just presenting facts. I think cable, regardless of the cable station, has fallen prey to the same economic imperatives that we're seeing in every other type of news, which is you are deliberately controversial, deliberately aggressive, deliberately trying to make people feel angry and aggrieved because that attracts attention.
It was just 2 months ago that a Gallup poll found trust in mass media was at a new low of 28%, and amongst Republicans that went down to just 8%, which is extraordinary. It's interesting to see Obama try and explain away why the media in the US behaves the way it does. It's just because they want to make a buck. Well, at some point, you kind of got to say, I have a responsibility as a journalist. I'm not saying me, but, in general, a responsibility as a journalist to be objective and to report the news, even if you are facing financial hardship, and I know the media certainly is in many respects. It doesn't mean you just go completely off the deep end.
No, Barack Obama is being mocked for his comments saying the mainstream media still does a very good job of just reporting the facts. As you point out, only 28% of Americans would actually agree with that, because only 28% of Americans still have trust in the media. Back in the 70s, it was around 70% of Americans who had trust in the media. 28% is extraordinary. And of course, it's this low. We were lied to during COVID. We were lied about Joe Biden's decline for 4 years. But of course, Barack Obama is going to say the mainstream media still does a very good job of just presenting the facts when you look at the way he has been worshipped by the legacy media. Last week, the New York Times put out a piece saying that Donald Trump is struggling with fatigue. He's struggling with energy. That is the fakest story I think I've ever heard when you look at Donald Trump and his energy. And meanwhile, the New York Times has put out countless pieces absolutely praising Barack Obama. Not just the New York Times. Let's look at CNN. Of course, let's look at some real headlines, shall we? Why Obama remains popular even after leaving office. Another one, Obama's vision for America. Politico has pieces such as how Obama created a new generation of leaders. The New Yorker, the Obama presidency, what we can learn from his leadership. Of course, Barack Obama wants you to keep trusting these outlets.
Well, that's why Donald Trump apparently wants to have another go at office. So he could, if they get rid of the third term rule, he could go up against Barack Obama. Wouldn't that be fun to watch?
That would be great.
While we're in the US, of course. Prince Harry has used an appearance on Stephen Colbert's The Late Show to have a not too subtle dig at Donald Trump.
You're an actual prince. Why would you want to be in one of those movies?
Well, you Americans are obsessed with Christmas movies, and you're clearly obsessed with royalty, so why not?
Hold on. Look, I wouldn't say we're obsessed with royalty.
Really? I heard you elected a king. I'll do anything. I'll record a self-tape. I'll fly myself to an audition. Settle a baseless lawsuit with the White House. All the things you people on TV do.
Oh, my God. Has the man lost all self-respect? He's not a good actor, but for goodness sake, you're supposedly a royal. You're not meant to wade into that territory.
No, the downfall of Prince Harry, it's been extraordinary to witness. He's gone from just non-stop complaining about his family, pocketing millions of dollars as he's been doing that, been complaining about the media from his Montecito mansion, and now going on Colbert to complain about Donald Trump. What is going on? It was actually quite interesting to see Prince Harry getting booed for some of his comments there from Colbert's audience. I mean, there's so much to unpack with what Prince Harry said there, starting with the no kings joke. It's such a joke. Does Prince Harry want to take part in some of these no kings rallies where we've seen such crazy extreme lefties holding up no kings signs, seeming to forget that Donald Trump is a duly elected president? This part was cut out in the clip that you just played, but Prince Harry had to make a reference to Meghan Markle, and I watched that, and I thought that was smart of him because, of course, he'd be in the doghouse if he didn't mention Meghan Markle. I mean, can you imagine him going on Colbert and not referencing Meghan Markle and his successful wife, as she would like to be described, I suppose. But also then that last comment from Prince Harry saying that Trump is going after baseless lawsuits. Look at Prince Harry. That is so rich. He's known for so many legal battles. It's extraordinary. But Prince Harry, look at just how woke he is. Clearly with such severe TDS that he's even getting booed for his anti-Trump comments on Colbert. It says a lot. He's become such a joke.
Oh, his poor old grandmother must be rolling in her grave. It's such a shame what he's done to the reputation of that family. Now to Minnesota, where the governor, Tim Walz, is now at the centre of a widening scandal, largely involving his constituents. Here's how Fox News has reported it.
$1 billion fraud scandal in his state. And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says, "It wasn't me." Well, the liberal New York Times, with a deep dive into the fraud allegations, called out Minnesota's social services and COVID-era programs under Governor Walz's watch.
And here's Minnesota Republicans are making it clear that this widespread fraud happened on Tim Walz's watch, and he should own it. It started with emergency COVID money, and it went on for years. 50 people have been convicted, 78 are charged. The suspects are concentrated in Minnesota's Somali community. And since the Somalis have grown into a powerful political voting bloc, Minnesota Democrats, particularly Governor Tim Walz, are accused of turning a blind eye to the fraud. One attorney involved in the case reportedly said the state ignored all the red flags. It was like someone was stealing from a cookie jar, and they kept refilling it. An account for the Department of Human Services representing 480 members posted on X. Tim Walz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota.
Now, credit to the New York Times, which is, of course, a left-leaning outlet. They broke the story. But if you relied on any of the other networks in the US, there's a good chance you've missed this one, which seems odd because it's a ripper yarn.
Oh, it's absolutely extraordinary. I mean, the scale of this fraud scandal, you're talking about hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars going to Somalia, allegedly ending up in the hands of terrorists, I'm trying to say. Extraordinary scandal, all taking place under Tim Walz's watch. Yet, ABC World News Tonight, NBC's Nightly News, and CBS Evening News have not mentioned Tim Walz by name over the past week. This is according to the search of transcripts by Grabian Media. They also didn't use the words Somali or Somalian. Now, this is a key part of this story because 78 of the 86 people who were charged in connection with this fraud scandal are of Somali ancestry. Now, if you listen to what Tim Walz has to say, he's accusing Donald Trump of demonizing that community. The reality is that these are the facts, that this is a key part in this story. Also, for Tim Walz to get up on his high horse and get angry at Trump for some of Trump's offensive language, Tim Walz is also someone who's compared Donald Trump to Hitler. He suggested that the Republican Party, are people who are Nazis. He said some horrible things. He celebrated Teslas being burnt on and put on fire because he doesn't like Elon Musk. So Tim Walz has said some incredibly offensive things. But the key story here is that this massive fraud scandal has taken place under Tim Walz's watch. And there are now concerns as to what else has he missed? What else has been going on in Minnesota under Tim Walz?
Well, he missed out on the vice presidency, didn't he? So thank God for that.
Thank God for that.
Now, you've, of course, discussed Kamala Harris's book and the way she's been trying to literally rewrite, her election loss. Well, in a rare moment of candour, her fellow Democrat, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who, of course, at one point was talked about as the VP candidate, Walz got it instead, but he's called out Harris, saying that sections about him in the book were, quote, utter BS, although I should say he didn't use the initials. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this book just continues to cause problems for the Democrats, but it's pretty extraordinary that Josh Shapiro has really unleashed on Kamala Harris here, accusing her of lying in her book to sell a few copies. This is the book called 107 Days. So Kamala wrote in the book that she had these conversations with Josh Shapiro, and she said that, Josh Shapiro was asking so many questions that she actually had to say to him, a vice president is not a co-president. But Josh Shapiro said that that is BS, that is completely not true. He said, I asked a bunch of questions. Wouldn't you ask questions if someone was talking to you about forming a partnership and working together? So Kamala Harris, I mean, congratulations for causing more infighting. She's clearly eyeing off another run at the presidency, but she's just causing more problems.
Oh, Jesus. Good luck to the Democrats if they go with her again. Gabriella Power, thank you so much for your time.